What is your profession?
Hello guys, this is the Knight and welcome back to my new YouTube channel. I will be discussing the conditioned dumbfire Necro today. It's still pretty viable, so you don't need to worry about that. It has been through some minor changes with the April patch, but it's still very strong. It still counters a lot of builds and it's still perfect as the 4 assaulter. Now for the build, you're gonna use the staff with the Sigil of Doom and the Sigil of Energy, and also the scepter and the dagger with the Sigil of Earth and the Sigil of Energy. Now for the rune, you can either use Rune of the Nightmare or Rune of the Balthazar, because other experienced Necros will know the Dumbfire Necro was actually based around burning damage. With the Rune of Balthazar, you will apply a bit more burning. Also, the burning duration will be a bit longer, but I don't really like Rune of Balthazar on Necro. I still prefer having the Rune of the Nightmare for the extra tick of fear you apply. And also this rune really counters engineers so hard. It doesn't matter if they're turret engineers with their stupid CC spam. They should nerf them, by the way. No, it's just stupid. They don't need to nerf it, but yeah, we just gotta learn how to counter them. So it doesn't matter if they're bunker turret engineers or condition engineers or power engineers. This build right here is perfectly to counter engineers. So the amulet we will be using will be Rabbit Amulet. The traits is 6 in Spite, 4 in Curses, and 4 in Soul Reaping. The 6 in Spite will be 6, 10, and 11. You can also choose for 4 in Spite, which is the Signet Mastery. It's also pretty good. I mean, if you want to have reduced cooldown on your Signet of Spite, go ahead, that's up to you, but I'm just experimenting between 6 and 4 to see what's best, and in all honesty they're both equally good. So the 4 and Curses will be trait number 4 and trait number 9. Trait number 4 is pretty good. Every time you go in that route, you do the same skill as this one right here, which is the Dagger 5 Enfeebling Blood. The 9 in Curses is Terror, so every time you fear them it causes damage like every second or something, and if they got a condition on them it will apply 300 well, a 300 more tick every second. So it's pretty strong trait. It's very underestimated. Yeah, it's still good. I mean, yeah, that's all about the Dumbfire trait. So while they're feared, you can still bomb them with any other skills you got off cooldown. With the 4 and Soul Reaping, you take 3 and you take 9. Master of Terror, still a very known trait across all Necros. It's still very good, very offensive, but can also be seen as a defensive skill. I mean, if you're helping at mid and they're focusing on you, this might be a defensive skill. But I still use it as an offensive skill, since it's easier for me to decap 4. Like I said at the beginning, this is a 4 assaulter. You don't want to be a home bunker as a conditioned Dumbfire Necro, because you have nothing in that magic nor in blood magic, so you don't have vitality nor toughness. You only have a bit of toughness through the Rabbit Amulet, so you want to either go mid to help out a bit or go far to decap it if you know you can handle the enemy on far. For the skills, it will be Consume Conditions, which is a must-have healing on every Necro build. Doesn't matter if you go Power, Condition, or Minion Master, doesn't matter. This is the skill you need to use. The Signet of Spite, Current Boon, Spectral Armor, and Summon Flash Golem. Now, Zenith of Spite is a really underestimated skill because of weakness. Weakness is one of the strongest conditions in the game, because of the minus 50 endurance regeneration and the 50% fumble, aka the opposite of ferocity. So enemies will deal 50% less damage do fumble. So a 14-second condition which makes your enemy target do 50% less damage is like a must-have. I mean, a lot of people seem to ignore this fact, or like 80% of the people I asked before don't even know what weakness actually does. Only thing they know is the minus 50% endurance regeneration, but they don't know a single thing about fumble. I mean, if you go to Guild Wars 2 Wikipedia, just type it in fumble, and you will have a whole text of wall. Well, it's not really a wall, but you will have a lot of information and examples how this condition actually works. And it's a damn good condition. I mean, I think it's one of the best conditions actually. So yeah, there you go. Corrupt Boon is excellent when you go to the far point and there's a home bunker right there, like let's say some sort of warrior or NG or whatever, and they have a lot of boons. Like, yeah, this is a skill you need to use. I mean, yeah, it's still a pretty strong utility. Like, let's say if the warrior on close, well, on 4 actually, for you it's 4, but for the enemy it's close. So let's say you're going 4 and there is a warrior right there, and let's say he procs stability, then it's the time you're gonna activate Corrupt Boon, because the stability will change into the opposite of the boon. So the opposite of stability is fear. So that's an extra fear right there. You will also gain like 1 or 2 ticks of fear damage through the traits, like I showed you earlier. So yeah, it's still a must-have. Also, like, let's say there is another Necro on mid in Plague. Like you see, if you go in Plague right here, you gain like the same duration of stability of the duration of the skill. So you gain 20-second stability. Now let's say you were at 4 and you kept 4 and you go back to mid and you see that enemy guy going in Plague and perma blinding all your enemies right there. Just use the skill from afar. Make sure you don't get blinded and just use Corrupt Boon on that guy, and he will get feared and he will lost his stability, so everyone can CC and knock him around. So he will be forced to leave that shroud as fast as possible. So that's a very good skill to use on one target. Spectral Armor will be your only source of stun breaker, so keep reminding that, but it's an excellent skill. Do its protection, do its line force when taking damage. The duration is 6 seconds. It's actually quite a bit same as Spectral Walk, except for the teleport back. And it also applies, this one applies swiftness instead of protection, which Spectral Armor gives. This one would be cool if you run something in toughness and blood magic trait line. But if you're squishy, I mean, as a condition Dumbfire Necro, you're pretty squishy if you don't have life force. If you have like 2000 life force and they focus on you, well, yeah, you can call it quits. I mean, you will die eventually. But with the Spectral Armor, I mean, it's an extra stun breaker you got, and it also gives protection for 6 seconds. Protection is also very good boon, by the way, guys. Try to use it as much as possible. It's like minus 33% incoming damage. Doesn't matter if the enemy crits you or something. Every incoming damage will be reduced by 33%. So it's a really must-have. For the elite, you're gonna use Summon Flesh Golem. Because you want to be able as focusing more on the single target enemies. So let's say this guy right here is on the far point and I want to decap him. Well, the thing you need to know with those two right here, it's better if you use them if the enemy is knocked down off, or if you know the enemy dodged twice already. So you need to be aware of his movements. So for the Signet of Spite, it doesn't really matter if the enemy has stability or not. He will get those conditions. But if you're facing a warrior with Berserker stance activated, you need to look right here where my cursor is. Always look right here every 2 seconds or something when you're fighting an enemy. If you see a strange symbol like a yellow symbol, don't use this Signet, because it will just be lost. I mean, the Berserker stance gives immunity for 100%, so for about 8 to 10 seconds. It depends if if the warrior is traded for it or not. So what you want to do is basically, let's say this warrior doesn't have Berserker stance anymore. You want to knock him down and just use the Signet of Spite just when he get backs up. So yeah, it's a pretty strong trait. I mean skill. Sorry, it's a pretty strong skill, and you only want to use it if you know you're gonna hit it for 100%. The same counts for Corvid Boon. Let's say the target has stability. You want to make sure he wasted both of his dodges. So you want to apply a bit of pressure. But the problem is with the warrior with their Berserker stance, they're immune to condition. But for some reason the game is also counting fear as a condition. So it's both a CC but a crowd control skill, but it's also some sort of condition. So if you see a warrior with Berserker stance, don't try to fear him, it won't work. He will be immune to your fears, so just keep reminding that. But let's say the Berserker stance is gone and he still got stability and he dodged twice. Well, that's an excellent moment to use Corvid Boon, because it's unblockable. Even if he uses Shield 5 or Sword 5 to block, or Mace 2, it's unblockable. So his stability will change into fear and he will get feared. So it's a pretty good skill right here. For the role as the condition Dumbfire Necro, as I explained earlier, your main focus will be Farpoint Assaulter because of your condition pressure, but also because you're quite squishy, so you can't really afford going to mid or bunk home. That's something you really can't afford. So like you see, 4 is already capped, so we're gonna check mid right now. It's better to summon this pet already and just see whatever they're gonna bring up. For the rotation, well, there is no really a vast rotation for condition Necro. I mean, every skill right here is situational. Like this one transfers up to 3 conditions to the enemy target. So let's say you got the blind confusion. No, let's say you got confusion, bleeding, and immobilize. Well, with this skill you can just target an enemy around you and can just use the skill, and it will bounce on 3 other enemies as well. So your conditions, your 3 conditions will be cleansed. So that's really important. Also try to use this skill as much as possible to regain some life force. With the staff, don't use this staff 4 as a random skill. I mean, that's one of your lifesavers right here, because it also transfers conditions back to an enemy that procs the mark. So you just want to keep pressure right here. You don't really need to chase him off. Just go to 4 now, because it's possible he might go to 4. So your job is staying between 4 and mid all the time. So like you see, there are 2 on 4. It would, well, we got the, oh, they got 3 on 4. Okay, it's gonna be 3 versus 3. I'm gonna focus on the target first. So as a Necro, you can just stay on a distance and just as you can see, I got 3 boons right now. I'm just gonna wait to use this one, but I'm gonna knock him down already. and use the Signet of Spite. There we go. Skills. Oh, he got stability now. Covered Boon, and bam, the Fear. There you go. So you see, Covered Boon is really a must-have as for Assaulter. Keep rushing on him. Use 5 for the cripple right here. No, it's 2. Never mind. I already used it. Now he's blocking. He's blocking. He's blocking. But he will die of the conditions. Never mind. Okay. Let's see this one. The Ranger. So as a condition Dumbfire Necro, your job is to stay between mid and far. You don't go close because you don't have the toughness to stay on close. So you don't bunk anything and all. You just decap or cap if it's possible for, and you go back to mid to support your teammates right there. If the team fights on close, and let's say it's a 3 versus 3, well, it might be a good idea to help them out, but don't stay there. I mean, just make sure they're dead, and just well, yeah, there we go, he's dead. And just make sure you're gonna stick to your rotation, mid and far. That's the only thing you need to do. So as you can see, you just apply support on the mid fight, and you don't need to stomp anyone at all. Once the enemy is down on mid, you just go back to far and decap it again with your Fear or whatever. Okay guys, this was my guide for the condition Necro. Just leave a message if you got a question, or if you want to have a certain class / build as the next video. Just let me know. You can also contact me in game by sending in mail or whispering to terrorsquad.2349. If you're interested to join Zeus, by the way, which is my TPVP guild, just go to www.zeuspvp.com. You can also find it on Google if you just type Zeus PvP space shifter, or just Zeus PvP. You will find us if you're interested to join us. Just read the conditions on the main page and stuff like that, and we will contact you back after you put an application in our website. So anyway, just vote on this video which class you want to see in the next video. I will probably be making this video this week already, maybe even tomorrow. I mean, it really depends how much time I got, but yeah, just let me know guys. I will hear you guys later. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and to like. Just support me. Shout out for the TPVP guys. Love you all. See ya.
Spartans! What is your profession?